Now, for instance, on Erin's face, we might want to soften up the skin detail in a couple of areas, and this is why skin detail is pretty important. Now, if Erin was a little bit older, right here around her eyes, she might have crow's feet. She hasn't reached that point in her life yet, but if she did, we'd want to soften that up, and the same thing might happen right here along the sides of her mouth. She may have some age wrinkles that would take place. Now, as we look over here, though, we've got a little bit of skin harshness right here where she's probably had a little bit of acne or something recently, or down here she's also had some acne, and so we're going to want to soften that up so that this area blends in. We could use a makeup brush. The problem with using a makeup brush, especially when we're dealing with high definition, is it really takes a skilled makeup artist to hide some of these skin blemishes. It's much easier to do it with a skin detail, and additionally, the makeup won't show up if we do use the skin detail mode. Whereas if we leave the detail mode off and we use a standard makeup brush, it may well be that the small hairs or other indentations on the side of the skin will cause the makeup to actually pop or be a little bit more visible than it normally would be. Harsh skin detail is very rarely your friend. So this menu is going to allow us to soften down some of the flesh tones. So let's look at how that works. Okay, with our model here, we've already got our effect level set up to middle. So let's go in and choose our different skin detail modes. If we go into the high mode, middle mode, or low mode, it allows us to determine how much skin detail we're going to be cutting out. Let's start off with the high mode just simply to illustrate what's going on. So we'll choose Select High, press the Select button, come down to Hue, and this shows us what areas of the face we're currently affecting. So as we swing that up, we can see that we're affecting a lot of the reds in the face. Well, let's swing this a little bit more down to the green. You can see in the green section, we're just getting into some of the lower neck and the areas surrounding the eye. So let's swing that back up just a little bit more towards the whole face. Now we can see we're cutting most of the flesh tone. And now let's slide down to the chroma. This allows us to determine how much we're going to swing it. And again, as we push it up, you can see we're affecting all of the flesh tones versus sliding down only some of the flesh tones. So let's work on grabbing all of the flesh tones, and then we'll come down and choose the area that we're going to be softening. You see here when we swing it all the way to the minus side or to the negative value, we're not affecting any of the face at all. As we start stepping it up, we can start to see a little bit of indicator creeping in around the mouth, the chin, and the neck. And a little bit more, and a little bit more. Now, this is about where you're going to want to be. Work with more the midpoints in the skin tones. Now, again, you're always going to want to try doing your color correction and skin tone setup using an external monitor so that you can see in a large format frame exactly what's taking place as you're adjusting some of these tones. It's very difficult to be looking at a small LCD screen such as we've got on the camcorder here and using that as your exclusive measurement of how the skin tones are being modified or adjusted. Let's move on. So sliding down, we can now choose the luminant level or the Y level of what's going to be adjusted. So again, as we swing that down, we see that we're only catching the highlights in the face here. And we can see on our model's face, in the lower chin there, we've got some shadow and maybe a little bit of stippling that's in the skin. That could come from a variety of different things, but that's the area that we really want to incorporate our softening. So let's set our Y level and click the return. Next up is the sky detail. Now the sky detail allows us to go in and change the way the sky detail might be seen. You see, when you shoot the sky, there's so much of one particular color. It might be that we've got some noise that starts creeping in, or we might get some type of an artifact as it looks through. And the sky detail allows us to soften that up so that the hues of the blue stay very stable across. It also will help us let the foreground pop. Your mileage may vary. You'll definitely want to experiment with this particular setting, but shooting landscapes or shooting flowers with sky backgrounds or people with sky backgrounds, this is a beautiful way to go. Now, if you've got some high contrast with the sky in the background, this is absolutely a function that you're going to want to check out.